not going to overgrow on me, and it has been something that has been wildly popular here at QVC because our savvy gardeners know when they see something that is truly special. We brought in 9,200 of these. I have 1,500, less than that, available.
For the whole season,
and that is it. This has been on fire, and it's really easy to see why, Devin.
Well, yeah, it really is easy to see why, because this collection of clematis is far above and beyond any other collection of clematis that we've ever seen. You know, they call clematis queen of the vines, but I like to call these varieties like the empress of the vines, because these clematis, you're getting 4 plants, 2 of each of these 2 varieties of clematis. Now, when we were creating this collection, we were working with the world's very best clematis breeder, who comes from Poland. He has spent his entire life just breeding clematis. And he came to our farm in Indiana, and he studied the soil, studied the topography and all the environment, and he recommended these 2 varieties of clematis because these varieties have extra large 6-inch wide flowers that are double petaled. So your flowers are so puffy and full-bodied and multi-dimensional.
Yeah, that's what struck me most, are these petals. Wow.
But also, these are going to be blooming about twice as long as the other clematis varieties out there.
Oh, why? Because what does the typical clematis bloom?
The typical clematis will bloom about 5 to 6 weeks. You can expect up to 3 months of flowers on these plants. And like you were saying earlier, these clematis are not going to just give you a few flowers at the top of the vine. They're going to bloom from the top to the bottom. So you're going to have total coverage of these beautiful flowers from about May to August every single year.
Ooh, extra large flowers, a full-bodied clematis. What's not to love? Why wouldn't you go for this option as opposed to something that only gives you, 5 weeks of color and maybe only the color up at the top? That's,
the reason is because you won't find these varieties at your garden centers or your box stores. When you go to your retail centers, I go to garden centers all the time, and I'm just astounded with how many varieties of clematis are out there. And what are you supposed to do? How do you pick which ones? No one's there to help you. No one knows the different varieties. When you shop with Roberta's, you know exactly what you're going to get. And here is the Veronica's Choice. You're going to be getting 2 of these clematis plants and 2 of the Kiri Takanawa that we saw a little bit ago. Now, both of these varieties have extra large 6-inch wide flowers, and you can see they're double petaled, so they're so thick, full-bodied, and they're just beautiful because they're going to be flowering from the very bottom all the way up to the top.
And here we put it with the foliage plant that we had on earlier, the coral bells.
Yeah, you do.
Got it.
Now, the reason that we have the coral bells in front of the clematis, it does look beautiful. The aesthetics is gorgeous, but there's also function to it.
Okay.
Clematis, when you grow a clematis, they like to keep their feet cool, meaning they like to have the bottom of the plant a little bit cooler than the top of the plant.
And it's cooler because it likes it shaded a little bit?
Exactly. So planting the coral bells right in front of your clematis is a wonderful way to ensure that your clematis grows its very best.
Okay, so if you missed this in our presentation last hour, you can talk to your order operator, or when you go to QVC.com, if you look at the items recently on air, you'll see the link that'll hook you up with the Coral Bells collection. But they look great together, but again, look at the vibrancy of these colors, the texture. This is, again, not for the person who's looking for just the average ho-hum garden. You know, you could stop watching if that is you. This is about the wow factor. This is about taking that spot around the house where necessarily you may need to cover up something that isn't so pretty. The clematis, dramatic effect and easy to grow.
So easy to grow. And this clematis collection, the 2 varieties, they only grow about 8 to 10 feet tall. So they're not going to get totally unruly, and you don't have to go out and mess with it and prune it. In fact, you don't want to ever prune this collection of clematis.
Why?
Never prune it, because these two varieties will actually produce flowers on both the old growth and the new growth. Many varieties of clematis will only produce flowers on the new growth, and that is why you have to prune them. And that's also why you'll only get flowers at the top of the clematis, because they're only going to produce flowers on the new areas.
Now that makes sense.
But these two varieties of clematis are going to produce flowers on the old and the new growth. So you're going to have enormous 6-inch wide flowers like you're seeing here. Here's the Kirita Kanawa. It's bright blue, it's gorgeous, and it's going to be flowering about twice as long as your other clematis varieties out there. That's why we love it, and that's why these are the only clematis that we would ever put in our own garden. All
right, well, remember that we started with close to 9,200 collections for the season. We are down to less than 1,500, so now's one of your last opportunities to get this home. It's on Easy Pay, which we don't always offer, $16.17 just by ordering with a credit card, and it will cost you nothing extra to break up the price. M49099 is your item number. Devin, thank you so much. Here's the info. If you want to know about those coral bells we paired with the clematis, they're on 2 easy payments of just under $20. That's what they look like in the fall. Look at the oranges and the yellows. Beautiful, right? We're talking year-round color. The fancy leaf coral bells, there's all the different colors of the green that you'll get. And yes, you can put this in the shady spots. Loves the shade. Great varieties. Again, really giving you a designer look, because the Roberta's team made sure to put a collection together that will really stand out. Great texture and vining on some of those varieties as well. There's the citronella, that bright green. I absolutely love it. Okay, so coming up here, we have another great thing for you if you really need to cover a really big space. We're